Hello everybody, welcome! My name is Ursa and this is The Sea. We're in a boat, we're playing Civ 6, that can only mean one thing. It's Kupe. This will be an amazing game. As you know, audience, any game with Kupe is a game I look forward to hugely, and this one will be no different. Oh, do I have something fun planned for you today. As usual, you lovely lemons can find all of the mods that I use to run these games, as well as the save file if you want to play along on my Discord, but you know that already because you're already there, because you're wonderful. But let me give you a little bit of a teaser, a little bit of a temptation that might make you want to watch this playthrough. Recently on my channel we've been using mods that add extra units and districts and improvements and cultural abilities to civilizations to make them more complicated. Well, Kupes are very, very interesting. We have another improvement that can spam a little bit of faith and food onto tiles. We have a ranger unique improvement unit thing that can attack twice that has a gun for a symbol. That's quite cool. And we have the Wayfinder's ability, which is very interesting indeed and will make the Kupe nature of this run, where we want to go and settle and annoy everybody by settling next to tiny little islands, well, it'll make it very attractive indeed. This is a 12-player Deity difficulty, standard speed, Barb Clans, Tech and Civic Shuffle mode on game. Yes, I really fancied it, something a little bit random today. And I'm going to be playing with a little bit of a self-imposed limitation. As we all know, Kupe is all about that diplomatic high life. You cut down a wood, he will know about it. Spoil the land by removing resources, he will know about it. I am going to go through the game and try to keep as low a penalty on diplomatic favor at all times as possible. That means I'm going to generate as close to 0 CAT as I can, remove as few resources from the map as I can, or not resources, improvable features like woods and rainforests, all that sort of stuff. We're going to try and keep that all on the map as we can. I'm going to interfere in people's diplomacy by liberating cities and keeping city-states free, and I'm going to try and keep my grievances to as close to 0 as possible. So we will go to war, I will steal cities, but we're going to do it diplomatically, using denouncements and casus belli and limiting my gains per war to a very small amount in order to try and keep my diplomacy as high as possible. Kupe will be world police. Kupe is everywhere. Kupe is life. Ladies and gentlemen, get yourselves ready, get yourselves comfortable. Make sure whatever your device is that you're watching this video, make sure it's charged and ready to go. We're thinking about potentially in the next few hours stopping the watching of this series because you've got some sort of exercise planned. Maybe you're going to the gym, maybe you're going for a run. Don't do it. The gym membership is a waste of money. Outdoors? What does outdoors have? Not Ursa Ryan. Let's get cracking. But before we get started today, this is Ursa. Ursa was expelled from Oxford University's Civ 6 program. Sad, alone, scared, Ursa made his way to the fabled Promised Land, the University of Sancor. But unfortunately, the vampire Lord Sucklington refused to let Ursa attend without 50,000 signatures on his application to enroll. So Ursa travelled. Whilst looking for subscribers, Ursa was trapped by crabs, and the evil Crustus the Enraged. All seemed lost. Ursa would go no further. He had failed. But then, to the east, they arrived. The early bears. Freeing Ursa from crabtivity, the early horde marched straight to the University of Sancor, screeching, Huzzah! At the doors till Lord Sucklington had no option but to let Ursa in. He had done it. With the early bears' help, he had enrolled. Thank you, everyone. You really do make dreams come true. Now all Ursa has to do is pass his first year, but I'm sure that'll be fine. Right? Turn 1, and we're in the middle of the sea. Oh, I'm so genuinely excited. I love playing Kupe. You know Kupe by now. He starts in an ocean tile. He has sailing, he has shipbuilding, and we can go into ocean tiles. We have very fast embarked movement. We have 2 science and 2 culture whilst we are without a city. So already we can go, I don't know, give me animal husbandry. Why not? And we can go looking for our first island. However, Wayfinders. Now this is the ocean group of civic abilities as given to us by the SUI Generis mod, and it goes like this. Embarked units have increased line of sight, so you'll notice that all of my units can see 1 tile further than normal whilst embarked, so my warrior has a view of 3 and my settler 4. Very handy for finding new land. And then we have 2 other abilities. First is not applying to my capital, so this we need to keep in mind for later. Non-capital city centres produce 1 food and 1 production for each adjacent coast tile, doubled if there is not another city centre center within 6 tiles. Now that is quite interesting. If I settle a city that isn't my capital down, for every coast it has, it gets 1 food and 1 production. So if I put it on a 1-tile island with coast all around it, it would have 6 food and 6 production, just in the city center. And that bonus doubles if there's no other city within 6 tiles, including other people's. It's not just my own, it's any city. So this will really encourage us to settle around the map. My capital doesn't get that bonus, but it means that a lot of settling locations are going to be open to us that necessarily weren't very good before. Reefs also provide additional food, culture, and production, I believe 1 of each, and harbors, water parks, and naval wonders can be built on reefs. Now obviously we can't get rid of resources, so for instance I can already see a reef over here that some turtles are on. I can't build over that. But just by owning that reef tile, for instance, I will have 3 food, 1 culture, 1 production, 1 science, and a bonus production as well alongside the gold. So it would actually be 3, 2, 1, 1, 1. I mean, it would be an insane tile to go for. So as we go and look for cities, we're going to be looking for a few things. We're going to be looking for access to the coast to get a lot of food and production. We're going to be looking for distance from other cities. We want to spread around the map, and we want to be looking for reefs because these are going to provide some really powerful early game tiles, especially with, don't forget, the fact that we still get fishing boats providing an extra food, we still get the culture bomb, and we still have the Maori ability, which gives us culture and faith from reefs if I can get that theatre square building in. These reefs are going to be very important for me. Did I mention the map? I don't think I did. Continents and islands today. I wanted to go for a map that does have a few islands scattered around, but still has a lot of Pangea, a lot of big continent landmass. We don't want to rig the game too much, although Kupe can normally find a good way of rigging the game. Now, which way to go? I know that there is a reef over there. I'm going to go and check that out immediately. And as you can see, it's kind of ages away from everything, so that's not particularly useful. However, there seems to be more reef in this direction. Interesting. I have science, I have culture, I can see there is some more coast up here. I'm going to send my settler in a different direction and just see how it goes. Foreign trade boosted. Lovely. And you can see already there is amber and amber. Now, ideally, I want to find a reef. A reef is the thing that I want to settle now. Yes, having fishing boats is really good. It'll give me a good culture bomb. It'll give me some good food, but it's that extra yield that I'm really looking for right now. This tile is really good. Oh, and hello. There's something interesting there. There are some turtles. We have honey. We have diamonds. This is a 3 luxury island down here. That is very good. And already I could settle on that tile. And if it wasn't my capital, this would give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 food and production per turn in that city center. You kind of want to balance this. Yes, sure. Settling on 1 tile islands is really fun and it's very Kupe. I don't want to get rid of all of my workable land because then I can't get any districts at all. I'm going to try and Kupe it up a tiny bit and not necessarily settle as quickly as possible. And I think my gamble's paid off nicely because suddenly we have turtles and a reef on this bit. And actually, this is a really good thing to think about. I want to settle next to the reef because then I can work it immediately. There's a second reef offshore that I could be working a little bit later. But this is only next to 3 coast tiles. So this would only be worth 3 food and 3 production if it wasn't my capital, whereas this one is 5. So actually, I want to settle this city as my capital and this city is not my capital because that will give me more benefit. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Oh, there's more reef out there. There's pearls. Okay, I'm very grateful that the extra visibility is letting us find all of this stuff a lot quicker. There is a little bit more in the way of turtles over there, but it doesn't look particularly settleable. It's turn 3. This would be a turn 4 settle. This is quite early for me, but I do get a little bit of extra culture from the reef. I don't think I'm going to lose a lot by settling. And yeah, sure, it's fun to wander around with your settler for ages and ages and ages, but equally, this is a 2 population city. We're just going to go for this immediately. And there you go. Here are the extra yields. 1 extra food, 1 extra production, 1 extra culture. This is now a 3, 2, 1, 1, 1 tile. And already I can add a food from a fishing boat and then a +1 food from a fishing boat from my regular Kupe ability, and we can culture bomb the tile, thus making this a 5 food, 2 production, 1 gold, 1 science, 1 culture. I mean, yeah, I'm happy with that settle. As a capital, that's really good. What does Kupe need to do? Make galleys? No, make scouts. Now, I could rush a settler immediately, but I want to find the best spots to settle on. So getting a ton of scouts out is really handy. The scouts have +1 line of sight, so they should be really good. And the difference between a scout and a galley is that a scout can go onto land to pick up tribal villages, and tribal villages are really handy for Kupe. Now, this is actually a 3 luxury start as well, because there are pearls over there, but there's also amber on top of my turtles. So the best bit as well is not only am I getting +1 immunity from my palace, but I'm also getting extra immunities around here as well. So we can actually have a happy capital that's growing really quickly. You can see the culture bomb just worked off there. That means means we're only 1 tile away from this reef out to sea. 80 gold? I think that's going to be worth that tile. Just we've already seen what yields this will give me. So yeah, that's looking brilliant already. When you scout with Kupe, you need to balance a couple of things. Firstly, you want to see what's in the local area to you because you can get to them quicker. But also you want to go left and right because the whole point about getting into the ocean first is that you can circumnavigate the globe first. I'm going to be pumping scouts out of my capital. So what I'm going to be doing is probably heading directly left now to go and see if I can find a big old landmass to see if I can start to circumnavigate the globe. And then I'll send scouts out to help the area. Now, I realize I am flirting with this violent storm. Hopefully it won't go anywhere near me. Oh, that really was quite close. It's wobbling around. We managed to avoid it. Good. And here is landmass. Venice. First meet. That gives me 2 gold per turn. Excellent. I feel like Venetians are going to understand my need to settle tiny islands. Yes. Ah, Venice. Genuinely an amazing place. Loved visiting it. Very much would recommend not going in the middle of summer. I'm going to use my builder. Got 1 charge of it left and not much gold to make other tiles at the moment. So whilst I work on animal husbandry, I'm going to use this builder just to scout the local area and see what my capital has to offer. Now, one thing I like to do on these series is to name my units as we go to thank and celebrate the channel supporters on Ko-fi and Patreon that help the channel be as wonderful as it is. This is going to be a slightly more, I don't want to say peaceful game, but my army may not be as developed as normal. So today I'm going to be naming my islands, my beautiful cities after my channel supporters. Thank you again for all of your help. Welcome, capital, Callumbilly. Think of yourself more as a mayor, as a governor. Make sure you get maximum value from these turtles. Counting on you. Actually, to be fair, what I really need you to be doing is ignoring the turtles. I need you to go on a mass cat breeding program to make sure that we have enough scouts. Yes, that is a weird concept. That is a barb camp. Now, this is both good and bad. It's bad because that is a barb galley and that's going to ransack my lands really quickly. It's good because it's offering me a galley that I can buy on the cheap. But my builder is not going to have very much luck going in that direction, so I will bring them back. Oh, little island there. Although remember, if there is another city center within 6 tiles, this extra Wayfinder bonus, well, that might not work. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles. This is too close. So it's not the most ideal location. Plus, again, it is a 1-tile island. It's a very Kupe thing to do, but it's not inherently very useful. I'm hoping these barbarians leave me alone for a little bit, but I might want to just keep this builder charge around just in case. If they do pillage anything, at least I'll have an option. God King, discipline. Excellent. Okay, this 1-tile island has 4 reefs around it. Oh, suddenly that is actually looking like a fairly decent city center. We'll come back to that one. That's not too bad. Antananarivo, a wonderful city-state if you're going for high culture, which I might do, to be honest. It has been met. We're going to find a lot of these large land masses have people on them, but we'll kind of keep that one in mind for later. What am I going to go? I think craftsmanship, because I'll get the boost for that fairly soon. And Agogi, Ilkham, these are very handy things for me. Foreign trade is quite useful because I can spam galleys out, but that actually feeds off craftsmanship. Yeah, no, that's an easy choice for me then. How many source of horse am I going to get? Is this going to give me a source of horse? No source of horse. Have we found any horses at all? I have. Venice has some. All right, we'll keep an eye on that. Oh, hello. This is looking like a nice little island. It's, again, a bit close to the city-state, so it's not going to get huge bonuses for me, but that is another reef. All right, this suddenly is looking like a pretty decent tile for me. Looks like there's a large landmass to my right, and somebody is settled there. Do I have a spare luxury? Not yet. I don't want to meet them just yet. I'm going to just keep myself to myself, and you can see we've got animal husbandry. I have a lot of hills, so we're now going to go for mining, although we have found astrology. Ooh, do I want my own religion today? I think gold and trade routes are going to be pretty handy for me, so yes, let's go for a religion today. I think that's not a bad idea. I like the idea of getting a pantheon. So here is the scout in question. My scout is going to prioritize exploring around my local islands and sort of heading out in a sort of spiral pattern, and I could go for a settler very quickly. I'm going to go for another scout. I think diplomatic visibility, conquering the map, is going to be really important because then you find things like this. It could not have timed better for me, the Great Barrier Reef. Now I'm playing with the wonderful Terra Mirabilis mod, which increases and diversifies natural wonders on the map. So there's a couple of extra abilities on this one. This gives me food, gold, and science. But this also means that improved sea resources yield 1 extra gold for any civilization that owns at least one of these tiles. It's a small bonus, but that is something that stacks very nicely. We've got the astrology bonus as well. So suddenly, that's not a bad settler location. Does it count as a regular reef for the purposes of Kupe, of the Wayfinder ability? I don't know. This is suddenly a very attractive settlement spot. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that one. This is what I love playing about Kupe. You explore the map so quickly and you see it from such a unique and different angle. That is somebody. There is somebody there. So the Great Barrier Reef is going to be a very difficult settlement for me. It's Congo. Okay. Honored to meet you. Love to sample your hospitality. It's their capital as well. So yeah, loyalty-wise, settling that area is going to be nigh on impossible, but not impossible. And it's actually protected by a mountain range. So we could go for the cheeky settle there. I'm very tempted to do that. All right, keep that in mind. We might annoy Congo quite considerably by settling towards them here. They will buy my turtles and my amber, but for not very much. And I'm just rocking happy at the moment, so I don't want to let that go. The reason I didn't buy a delegation there is because now I can afford this tile. So suddenly we have another epic fishing boat, which is giving me a little science, a little culture, rocking a huge population. We've actually got really decent science and culture beginning of this game. I like this. This is a good synergy for me. Ooh, tribal village next to the barb camp. All right, that might be quite tricky for me. La Venta. I do like the idea of building a colossal head. Something appeals to it. Just line them up around my islands. That would be fun. Maybe we can find Rapa Nui. Now that would be fun. So I think the barbs are going to have this island on lockdown, but there's another island here with a double reef start. That in itself is quite attractive, and it looks like there might be more reefs over to my left as well. Astrology. Oh, now one thing I have found is the political philosophy boost. This is what I kind of really enjoy about the tech and civic shuffle mode. Not only does it get all wibbly wobbly, but it means you really do benefit from knowing what your boosts are, because meeting 3 city-states has given me access to the location of political philosophy. Now, if I can pull that off, and I can get a pantheon, we can actually get the government card of the wild path policy, which gives us the profit points, and that would help us to get a religion really quickly. So there's some synergy here we want to go for. It's a one-tile island. Oh, but it does have reefs. Yep, no, I'll pop that down as a location we can possibly settle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one's far enough away as well that this could be a cool settle as well. 9 turns for a holy site with no synergy at all. Oh, now I'm regretting the idea of going for a religion. I mean, the problem about going for a religion is I'm going to be settling loads of really random locations. Maybe I don't bother. That was probably a really bad first tech then. All right, I'm not going to bother. I'm changing my mind. Let's focus instead on gold and resources. So now here's the question. Do I go for a settler? Or do I spam out a couple more scouts? I'm going to go scout, builder, settler. Now, I know I'm putting the settler off, but we're finding really cool settlement locations. Maybe we'll find a better one. You never know. We're also grinding era score. If we can go into monumentality, it'll mean that we'll be able to settle a lot easier later into the game. And okay, this warrior, I am going to do the thing. I'm going to try and push as far left as I can. We want to circumnavigate the globe. Craftsmanship. So we're getting the pantheon. Discipline's still pretty good. I want to keep a Gogi. But we're going to go early empire now, which hopefully I'll be able to boost just on my capital alone, which is crazy. And then go straight to political philosophy. Stick to the coast with Kupe. Yes, you can go into the ocean to avoid barbarians, but the coast is where everything fun is. This is where all the islands, where all the resources are. Mongolia with 16 culture. What are you doing? What is the AI doing? That is a very high culture Mongolia. I love it. I need to start offering people random friendship and hope that that works. I do want to kind of play fairly diplomatically this game, so maybe we just send delegations out, but until I've unlocked open borders, there's no real point. You can't influence the AI enough. It's just wasting gold. Interesting. All right, there's a little bit of competition here. I'm really tempted to try and settle Great Barrier Reef, but this is going to be such a difficult loyalty settle for me, and it'll really annoy Congo. But this is what Kupe does, right? We just rock up and settle right next to them out of the blue. I couldn't think of a more Kupe strategy. So big old landmass to my right, with reefs, with barbarians, with more options for galleys. Good to know. And I can go here for turtles giving me more gold. I just feel like 5 gold isn't good enough. Let's see who this person is over there. Maybe they'll pay more. Oh, there's more land above this island. Oh, there's a little hole in the ocean. Maybe this is just like some random spit of coast. Sometimes the coast can be quite deceptive like that. Send this scout up in this direction, and it's Korea. Very scientific, but they should like me if I stay behind them in tech, which on Deity is pretty easy. Do you want to buy my turtles? Yeah, they want to buy my turtles for a little bit less. I'm going to try a slightly different strategy today. Normally, I snowball by taking less gold, but all up front. Today, I'm going to actually go differently. I'm going to take the 183 gold by taking it slowly rather than the 130. Let's go through the gold per turn. I'm kind of almost in my head. I want to prove how effective the snowball strategy is by not taking it. Having good gold per turn is fun, though, to be fair. Tribal village up towards me. Looks like there's another fun island. Yeah, we've got good locations, good city locations here. I'm going to move this scout down in this direction. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 scouts and a warrior. I would like more, but I should probably focus on getting some settlers out very soon. It was kind of a part of me that was hoping I'd be able to get Magnus in my capital before we did that, but maybe that is looking unlikely. Another barbarian camp here. So we'll have a lot of city-states on this game. We need to kind of keep an eye on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This city-state, for instance, would ruin the adjacency on this island. My capital doesn't get the food and production bonus. It's worth keeping an eye. If you want to get all the food and production from settling, then you don't want city-states to pop up and ruin that for you. Let's now go for pottery. Though I'm actually now thinking that a high science start wouldn't be the worst thing for me here. All of these reefs are going to mean some pretty high campus yields, and campuses never hurt anybody. Now, this is why scouts are better than galleys when it comes to exploring, because you can leave and just immediately go for the tribal village and go for 20 horses, which I'm hoping I can not very much. All right, we'll sell them later. Okay, there is something that I was a little bit worried about. The barbarian it's found us now. We need to get a galley, which I'll be able to afford in about 4 turns, and keep ourselves safe. If I had gone for foreign trade, we would have rushed maritime industries, but I'm going instead for the early government to get the religion. But now I'm thinking I don't need the religion. What am I doing? I keep changing my mind. Do we go for the... No, we'll use our gold to get the galleys. I still think that's the better option. He's reversing his strategy repeatedly. Not even Ursa can keep up with what he's doing. But isn't that just typical Civ, you know? The whole point of the game is that you come up with about 500 ideas. Mount Vesuvius. Antiquity sites yield more culture, and artifacts yield more culture once you own them. That is handy if we wanted to go cultural, and it looks like it's fairly uncompeted as a settle, so that could be useful. We will keep an eye on that one, and let's go for Alpine. I realize I should probably flip my government around a little bit and give myself a double experience on scouts because we've got so many of them, but I don't know. I like the extra barb damage. Now, are you going to go straight back and inform your friends, or are you going to go and pillage my amber? It's going to go and pillage my amber. Sometimes the barbarians, they wind you up. Okay, so in this instance, I might sell my horses, break my own pact about getting my gold quickly, but the only reason I'm doing that is so that I can hire the galley, like so, and block the space between the other improvements. Now, it's probably going to pillage, so that's why I'm not attacking this turn. It'll heal itself anyway, but at least now I have a unit to keep my other things safe, and we don't overly mind having things pillaged, because ultimately I can fix them with builders, but it's just annoying. Oh, another natural wonder. This is an extra one. This gives me floodplain tiles yield +1 culture for any civilization that owns at least one of these tiles. Now, I'm not really going for floodplains, but that is quite handy. So let's keep that in mind. Maybe this is going to be a game where we just try and beeline as many natural wonders as is physically possible. I'm the first person to find all of this stuff. I mean, in theory, we should go for a pretty easy religion, I'm hoping. We'll see if that works out like that, but I'll be slightly annoyed if I don't get it. Right, here we go. The galley is now chopping into the barbs. Amazing to see. Oh, the Korean scout literally grabbed the tribal village as I found it. You cheeky so-and-so. Nanmadol. Oh, that's a huge city-state for me. +2 culture from any district or city on the coast. I wonder if we're going to be settling on the coast. You know what? I think we are. All right, so Amani Tor. We need to go and claim Nanmadol. Oh, that could be why there is so much culture here. This looks like Giant's Causeway. That's why they have so much culture beginning of the game. Oh no. Giant's Causeway, Mongolia. Our greatest fears have been revealed to us. I didn't even know it was a fear of mine, but it is. And look, a double reef with a natural wonder. This is the sort of settlement that I've been talking about. This is perfection. And we can remove the desert tile, which gives us extra era score for settling on it as well. I love it. I absolutely love it. I might have my scout attacked here, but we can always nip onto the land to hide from this grey shark. Oh, it even sounds scary. Yeah, bam, 52 damage. That's pretty awful, but go and find me the tribal village. 20 faith. That is what we call a pantheon. Okay, the galley is backing off now. Gonna take a turn to heal. I'm not gonna be able to chase it down and attack it, so I'm gonna just make sure my unit is healed, and then we can go and fend people off. And this scout, this one needs to be working its way right, so I'm actually gonna hop across the continent here. Does it make sense to do that? It doesn't, because my settlers are unlikely to do that. Let's go and use the Frozen South, go and explore that, because sometimes this actually does reveal some really good spots. Don't forget, we are a naval civ. It doesn't matter if we go and discover the tundra, we can still settle it very easily. Yeah, look at all that culture. That is huge in my Giant's Causeway. Land units trained in a city that owns at least one of these towers start with a 3 promotion. That is really scary for Mongolia. Why? Why does Mongolia have that wonder? Oh no, that's bad. Singapore, this is good for trading. I'm pushing more and more towards harbors at the moment, I must say. Interesting, the galley chose to move down in this direction, which is bad for the barbarian because it can't go into ocean tiles like I can. So it's going to trap itself before it can go back and report my location to anybody. That's awesome. Pantheon wise, is the settler Pantheon there? No, it is not. We could get a builder for city growth. City patron goddess to let me spam harbors out. Long run, that's also pretty good. God of the Sea is around. I think we've got to go God of the Sea, haven't we? +1 production from fishing boats. We've already got 3 of them down in my capital, soon to be 5. 5 extra production is huge, and pretty much any settling location I'm going to have needs fishing boats. Yeah, you got to do it. But if I wanted a religion, Divine Spark would be pretty cool. I've got quite a few pastures on this island, so I could go from the culture on pastures. That's not a bad idea. But yeah, God of the Sea. For me personally, watch the settler. 8 turns on settler right now. Bam. Now it's down to 7 turns, and we'll switch this to colonization immediately, as well as putting survey on for my scouts. Now we're down to 5 turns. Yay! Is it worth going Magnus for the settlers, or is it worth going Pingala for the yields? There's a lot of mines here. I'm actually going to go Magnus and try and settle out like crazy. Go on, Callum Billy. Work Magnus for me. Do this. We need to go and settle around the map, and we need to do it fast. Oh, there's a barb boat. It can't keep up with me because I can skip across the ocean. Trajan. Oh, it's Rome. Oh no. Oh no, we're not playing Boudica today. That's all fine. Made another person. Yeah, lots and lots of era score. We should be. I mean, I don't think I've ever played a Kupe game and not gone golden in the ancient era. Kupe is just perfect at golden ages. Kill the galley and get me a new fishing boat. Just watch this tile. 1 food, 1 gold, 1 culture immediately springs into 3 food, 1 production, 1 culture, 2 gold. A fishing boat is now worth 2 food and 1 production for us, which is pretty awesome. Another 6 gold per turn for my amber. Sure. And sometimes it's actually worth selling open borders as Kupe because, well, what are they going to do? Trespass through my borders? I'm over the ocean. You physically can't get to me. My next load of gold, I'm going to buy in a spearman into my capital. I'm going to use this to try and clear the barb camp. I don't want this one near my capital. It's ruining all of my fishing boats and it's causing me undue stress. It must go. Actually, this island's looking pretty tasty as well. There's a barb quadrireme. Okay, I'm not going to be able to just clear that with a single spearman because it's going to attack me. So we're going to need to move my galleon, maybe bring a couple of other units, but this is just encouraging me to actually get an early game army, which is honestly a really good thing because I very rarely get an early game army. I'm really bad at that. My first settler is done. Am I going to build a second settler? You better believe it. Now, with all of the locations I've found, which one do I go for first? In order to help me decide, I probably should just make sure that I'm searching for reefs because this is really going to help. Now, site number 1 is the Great Barrier Reef. I have huge loyalty competition here. This is a -20 settle for me, but if I could plonk a governor down quickly and grow the city using some really cool abilities, like it would get +3 food and +3 production per turn, maybe this would be a good settle. It's ambitious though. It would be highly aggressive. It would be, yeah, maybe that's a Hic Sunk Dracones settle. We'll see how that one goes. This is also a really cool one because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 luxuries within range and a natural wonder. I've also got a much closer island, which has got turtles, honey, diamonds. There's a lot of cool stuff. I mean, there's a lot of really nice settlement locations. I think I'm going to go for this one first. Gives me a nice place to send units from the middle of the map. Go and claim that. I mean, floodplains are unlikely to be something I really settle on, but the era score from settling on it would be very helpful indeed. The reason, by the way, I didn't go straight for Armani, Nan Madol has already been claimed by Trajan. So I'm just holding fire on that one. Oh, what did I get from that tribal village? I think it was gold. Yes, 116. So I must have got about 40 gold from that because because I've been waiting to pick up this tile, which is just a lovely little pearl tile, but again, just culture bombs a couple of things for me and is really, really good to work. That the Korea already has iron is one of those things that I find to be quite scary. All right, let's try and defeat this barb camp now. This is going to be quite tricky to do. We're going to give it a good go though. Taking a bit of a gamble here. I'm actually going to sell off all of my luxuries to get the 17 gold per turn, which will reduce my capital from +3 to just a net 0. So we're going to lose a lot of yield from doing that. But what that does is it means I've now got a lot more gold to spend and pick up like extra galleys and things that I can use to try and just kill this barb encampment. The worst thing that can happen is the barbs get away from me here. A couple of bad spawns and they could be everywhere, just being a real problem for me. So we need to claim this now. Okay, cool. They attacked a unit that can tank the damage. We can get in and get the quadrireme kill. And now we're on to the actual encampment itself. I'm hoping that means we've got enough force in this area to go and claim that, but we will see, I'm sure. Grand Mesa. Units ignore movement penalties in forest or jungle. Oh, that's good for scouts. All right, that's near Mongolia, which is never a good thing for your long-term health, but we'll keep an eye on it. Double Reef Island up here as well. Oh, lovely settlement locations for me. Look at that, double galley spawn. This is exactly what I'm talking about. The barbs can just be ferocious. So I'm gonna pull my galleys back and just make sure that they heal, whilst my spearman tries just to grind a tiny bit of damage out, and then we'll fortify and heal. Tough though. I think we're gonna need more of an army. This is where 38 gold per turn does come in pretty handy. Oh, look at all the resources up here. Okay, this is just to the north of this Wonder Island, but there's a reef and then tons of stuff like jade. Yeah. This is all really, really cool. One thing I haven't really spoken about is Kupe's other ability, which of course is to get an extra production from unimproved woods and rainforest. Like, I'm sure we will do that at some point, but yeah, not important for me right now. Rome is showing friendship options. All right, if you want to, you can do that. I'll take any friend that wants to friend me. I guess it's like all the trade I'm doing with them. They're like, this Kupe. This Kupe could be a good person to keep around. And I'm like, sure. Tokugawa, right next to Rome. I'm gonna just suggest that the two of you might not get on very well. Ah, yes, the true backhanded compliment. Korea likes me because I don't know anything. Okay. Amazing how much land I'm discovering right now without finding many tribal villages. Like, we really don't have many. This barbarian galley has been a nightmare. But my settler can stick to ocean towers, so I can jump from this one to that one and it can't get me. We should be fine as long as it doesn't move, as long as it doesn't annoy me further. Inca. All right, Inca is also on the left-hand continent. On to meet you, exchange information on capitals is fine. You can know where I am if you want. Oh yeah, they're very much landlocked. Cool. Good to know. Oh, a barb horse archer. I think this warrior is in the process of being hounded and killed. That's the golden age, by the way. We've achieved that on turn 31. You're gonna get chased down and attacked? Yep. Oh, that doesn't look good for you. We've all been there. I'll send friendship. If they're gonna play nice, then that's fine. Tokugawa might also play nice, to be honest, as might Korea. Just locking and locking all of these friendships in now whilst I can. Settler number 2, by the way, I think I am going to go and settle this island here just because of the luxury spread. This will be lots of stuff for me to go and trade. I've got more horses to sell as well. Nobody wants my horses. I think everyone might have horses, or it's too early in the game. I don't know. One of the two. I need to think about the arrangement on my capital though. So we know there's going to be a harbour, and I think I would quite like an industrial zone somewhere as well. Only way I'm going to get industrial zone adjacency is with regular mines. So let's think about this. If I was to put the industrial zone there, would that help me at all? No, there's a small chance I could put a canal district there, which would mean I would industrial zone, potentially government plaza to make that +4, and then, yeah, put the campus on that tile. Okay, it's a weird arrangement, but this might work. Give us a go. 1, 2, 3, 4, into the ocean. Can't follow me into the ocean. Oh, tribal village. I think the slinger might get there first, unfortunately, but it depends if it's seen it. It has seen it. Why are you just repeatedly showing me tribal villages that the AI has just spotted? Why am I arriving one turn too late? I swear the game has a bias where the AI doesn't move towards tribal villages until you've seen them. I mean, of course it doesn't. That's total rubbish, but sometimes it feels like that. There's the barb galley, by the way. I see you. I'm going to send my galleys around this way, and it's going around the other way to pillage, isn't it? I just know it. Cheeky. Very cheeky. Are you scared of expansion? Oh, Trajan. Don't worry about me and expansion. I know how to do do that on this game. And finally, a very special shout out goes to Glorious Petra, Matthew Wilkinson, Paul Coffey, Portland, Clint Hennis, Scott Stratton, Major King Kong, Skeptical Bear, Cinnamon Beard, Radiatore, Private Selection, Genoa Salami, Callum Billy, Garrett Gowan, Polar Beret, El Truant, Creston, RB Hedged, Mushkin Mandletort, Burial, I'm Daft, Gooberman, Dr. Bobby, Polar Wallabear, Mixomatosis, NTG Golfman, Victor McPupster, Indigenous 68, Technology Poet, Teddy's Ursa, Zaf, Barnaby Rex, Charlie Bears, Flying Dutch Burbs, Nate the Great, Alex Frost, Mean Penguin, Interplanet Janet, Mr. Awesome, Frankincense Battlezord, Sleepy Lab, Bookaluk 79, The Nickerman, Bob Loblaw, Davalex, Geography Teacher, Juvara, Daddy Bear Todd. Thank you everyone for your support. See you all in the next video. Goodbye!